Right guys, simultaneous equations. Let's have a look at this. I've looked at two methods in the previous lesson that we did, and now I'm going to show you a third method that you might want to use. Let's have a look at this. Here's our two equations. We've got to solve for x and y. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick any of the equations, pick an equation and solve for one of the variables. Now, let's suppose, people, you can pick A or B. Let's suppose, I'm going to do this specifically for a good reason. If you have a look at this, I'm going to take equation A. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve for either x or y. Now, if you look at the equation, it seems better to solve for y because you've got that 3 next to the x. Now, watch this. Be very careful. I'm going to bring the 3x to the right. Okay, now careful, I've got negative y is 10 minus the 3x. Okay, now, once we do that, be careful here. I'm going to multiply everybody by negative 1. So I'm changing all the signs. So what you get then is y equals negative 10 plus 3x. You remember, you picked any equation. You could have also chosen equation B as well. Okay, now I pick that equation and look what I've got. And then I can reorganize it as 3x minus 10. That's pretty easy to do. It looks better. You just bring the 3x there and the minus 10. Now once I've got y equals this, okay, that's going to be pretty easy to deal with, because now you take this equation, this y equals 3 minus x, and now you use the other equation. Now look what's happened. I've got x plus y is 6 is the previous, that's equation B. I'm replacing the y with 3x minus 10. I want you to look at that very carefully. Y is equal to 3x minus 10. That's still x, that's still 6. The equal stays there, and the y now becomes 3x minus 10. Okay, so you've picked an equation and you've solved for y in this case. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's have a look at this now. Well, if you work with that, what do you know? We've got x plus 3x minus 10 equals 6, which is 4x minus 10 is 6, and then bring the minus 10 across. 4x is 16, and guess what? You get the same answer as before, x is equal to 4. Okay, which is great. Now, how do we get y? Pretty simple. Check this out here. Substitute x equals 4 into the equation that you've worked with into y. This is a brilliant one because you've already worked with this one. Okay, now x becomes 4. So let's plug in. There's 3x, so your x changes to 4, and 12 minus 10 is most definitely 2. So it definitely works. Okay, so people, watch out for these things. They're very, very cool, and it's pretty cool to do this thing. Now watch this next example. Okay, if you look at this, you've got 3x plus 2y is 6 is A, and 5x plus 3y is 11. Now here's a problem, because it doesn't help adding or subtracting because they're so different. Now what I'm going to do, now watch this method. With these two equations, I'm going to multiply equation A by 3. Okay, now let's see if we can do that. If we times by 3, and we're going to, equation B, we're going to multiply by negative 2. Now let's see why we're doing that. If you look at equation A, okay, and equation B, look at equation A quickly here. If you multiply by 3, 3x times 3 is 9x there. 2x times 3 is 6y. Okay, and then of course we've got 6 times 3 is 18. If you take equation B and multiply by negative 2, 5 times negative 2 gives you negative 10. 3 times negative 2 gives you negative 6y, and 11 times negative 2 gives you minus 22. So what I've done is I've done something to both equations. Now, why is that a good idea? Stay with me. Look at this. You've got two equations, A and B. Okay. And none of them are the same. Now, I focus on the y's. If I look at this, the 3 and the 2, if I multiply everybody in A by 3, I come out with a 6y. If I do it to B and I multiply by negative 2, I land up getting 6y and negative 6y. A way to do it, if you look at it, if you think of it as 2 and 3, okay, think of it as 2 and 3. Well, they're both going to 6. So if you can think of the lowest common multiple of those guys, is 6, 3 and 2. Likewise with the 3 and the 5, you could have easily worked with the 3 and 5 and said, well, times the top one by 5 and maybe the bottom one by -3. The secret is to get something the same. Now look at this. If you look at it again, okay, there's equation A. I've multiplied by exactly by 3. Okay, whatever that bottom one was. Okay, so 3x is 9x, 2y becomes, of course, 6y, and 6 becomes 18. You've multiplied by 3. The bottom one you multiply by -2, and -2 gives -6y. 11 times -2 gives that. Now, all you now need to do is simply add down. 9 minus 10 is -1. 18 minus 22 is -4. Okay, now careful, 9 minus 10 is -1x. Those must vanish. You want to make them the same with different signs. And 18 minus 22 is -4. And then, of course, you can simply drop those. Okay, those signs divide. And x is 4. And then how do we get the y value? Well, pick any of the equations. I've chosen this one. And we can plug in the x value as 4. And then we've got 4 3s are 12 plus 2y is 6. And all you then need to do is bring this, the 12 across, and you then work it out, 6 minus 12, and you get your y value there, -3. So that's quite a challenging one. Guys, that's grade 10 simultaneous equations. Let's stay with us because we're going to do the grade 11 ones in the next segment. Don't go away.